So I live my life on the edge. I'm always ticking people off, have a huge number of enemies. So precisely because I'm, on the edge, precisely because I have a gift at alienating people, I've also had to develop skills of trying to disarm people, because I've always got people like really angry at me, and they're often right in my life, and so I have to, interact and deal. So how do we deal with people who are angry at us and who are going around saying horrible things about us? Because I have that happen all the time. People are, always going around saying horrible things about me. Some of them are true, and some of them are not true. And so I think one of the first things you have to do is admit, when it's brought up to you, hey, so-and-so said that you said Nazism is your favorite form of pornography, and you got to own it. Someone says that, when you were dating her, you were also placing singles ads to meet other women, which has happened to me, and it was true, I did. I remember in my first 2 or 3, 4 years in Los Angeles, I was aggressive hitting on chicks. I mean, I would go up to them and, I wouldn't touch their private parts, but, I'd put my hand on their shoulder. I was really out of control. I was gauche, I was gross, I was just horny rabbit, and it was disgusting, and it was true, and, I owned those years. I was out of control. In part, I was on a medication called Nardil, N-A-R-D-I-L, which is an MAO inhibitor, which helped bring me out of my chronic fatigue syndrome, but it has a side effect where it diminishes your inhibitions. So I'm not a very inhibited person to begin with, so imagine me on something that further diminishes my inhibitions. Some people on Nardil, they go out and shoplift. People do some crazy things on Nardil. So Nardil wasn't the reason that I was aggressively hitting on chicks. What Nardil did is it reduced my already very tiny amount of inhibition. So, I've done a lot of horrible things. If you own that, people come up to you and say, hey, so-and-so said you did X, and if you did X, you got to own it. Then, if you got someone going around saying horrible things about it, you got to make a good faith effort to try to reach out to them and say, hey, I've done some horrible things, and I've done some horrible things to you. Let's meet, let's talk. What can I do? What can I do so that you don't go around saying horrible things about me? This is really hurting me, hurting my life. I'd really like to bring some healing to this, and I know that you feel like I've wrecked your life in some way. What can I do? What are some concrete things that I can do to diminish this pain so that you're no longer on this jihad against me? Sometimes that works. Sometimes there are concrete things that you can do. Often that won't work. But everybody has friends. Everybody has friends who influence them. So let's say my ex-friend Diane betrayed me, now hates me, totally turned against me. Diane has friends. The odds are that we know people in common, and that I can approach them and say, hey, what do you think I can do to diminish the anger that Diane feels towards me? And so those are like concrete ways that I think that an individual can take to try to defuse someone's anger and hatred towards them. First of all, go to the person, see if you can heal it. If you can't, what friends do you have in common? If that doesn't work, go out there on a jihad to do good. If you're out there, volunteering for the homeless, if you're out there, volunteering to do some good cause, if you're out there doing the maximum amount of good that you can, making friends, leading a good, upright life, you diffuse the anger and hatred that people have towards you, even when their anger and hatred is somewhat based in something legitimate that you've done wrong.